buying a house or even renting a house when you're in the age groups of 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, it's a different criteria than when you buy a house in your younger years, in your 40s, 30s, or some people in their 20s. Why? Well, there's different requirements. You know, when you're younger, you may have more of a requirement for being in a certain school district for your kids, being around a certain job to build your career. As you get older, one of the most important criteria is being within walking distance of stores, healthcare facilities, etc. Why? Because the more you drive, the more dangerous it is. And one of the first memories I have in my teenage years is having a friend who his grandmother used to take us back and forth to each other's house, but she refused, or she couldn't drive in the dark. And as I get older, I understand that more and more, because driving in the dark is more dangerous, and just driving itself is dangerous. And so as you get older, whether it's because of just mitigating risk with the danger of driving, whether maybe you get to a point where you can't drive, maybe you have a hip problem, knee problem, being in distance of at least a grocery store is a huge criteria when you buy or rent a house in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and definitely 80s. Because buying a house or even renting, it's usually at least a year commitment. And if you're going to buy, it's really more of a 5 to 10 year commitment, so that house can appreciate in value, so you can at least, recoup your cost of home ownership. Buying property is a long-term decision. So, that's number one. You want to be in walking distance of a grocery store, versus, living at the beach in your 60s, 70s, and 80s may not be criteria. Why? Now, how much are you really going to be in the ocean or in a pool as you get older and older? Not as much. How often are you going to be at a grocery store? Very much. Why? That's your life, is eating. You got to always eat no matter how old. So now, certainly you can get Instacart and you can have food delivery, so that's an option. But being in close proximity to stores is a major criteria in your later years, and that's why a lot of times too now they have what they call planned communities, where it's an all-inclusive community where there's a supermarket, some basic stores, maybe even a healthcare facility. It's not assisted living, but it's a all encompassed little town within a community itself, a planned community. So, look, there's many exceptions, and we're all in different seasons of life. And I'm still in my 40s as I make this video. But as I get older and older, I said, wow, that would be a major criteria in my life to be in a walking distance of a store, maybe, if I couldn't drive or didn't want to drive. So it's just something to think about that I've experienced in my life from my very early on. Like I said, remembering that my friend's grandmother saying she doesn't like to drive at night. And then for me, as I got older and driving and seeing how easy it is to get into an accident and how dangerous it is to drive statistically. Statistically, driving is one of the most dangerous things a human does. One of the biggest advancements in the next 100 years will be self-driving cars. It will save millions of lives. 1 million people die per year in car accidents, over 1 million. So, that's like a World War III every year. It's horrible. And not to mention the injuries, that people don't die to just get injured, not to mention financial loss, not to mention mental and emotional distress. So, look, will there still be accidents with self-driving cars? Yes, but it'll be 90% less. And anytime you can improve your health, your well-being, the well-being of society, 90%, you take it. You take it, okay? So, and that'll come, but it may take another generation. So, for this generation, before self-driving cars, for the next 10, 20 years, I would say, that's a criteria to be in somewhat close proximity. And also to stores, walking distance, not just driving distance. Something to think about, something I've experienced I want to share with you. Everyone's different. I hope this video in a small way helped. I tried to keep it very brief, just about 5 minutes. Not to give you a lot of hot air or BS, but just something to think about. Okay. Thank you for watching.